This is the Indie Game Dev Journal, a series about my journey as a game developer. I'm Noah, creator of BlackthornProd, and for the 8th episode, let me present to you The Enemies Within, a 3D FPS made as usual with the Unity game engine and Autodesk Maya for the 3D models and animations. Compared to my previous creations, where the story and theme occupy a rather superficial place in the overall experience, The Enemies Within has a more fleshed out message, with many features that reinforce the intended theme. This game places you in the mind, in this case a dark one, ominous, grave looking. All around you breathe ugly, angry or glum-faced creatures. These represent the main subject of the game, doubt. We almost all have a certain amount of doubt lurking in our heads. We doubt our abilities, we doubt our decisions, our thoughts, we doubt ourselves. This doubt, of course, can be amplified by the words of others, opinions, critics, haters. Doubt is a true killer of dreams. It can stop us from fully living. Doubt basically makes us live life with the brakes on. So the game goal is rather straightforward. Blast the doubts polluting your minds. They are not needed there. All they do is tell you what can't be done. They slowly destroy you. There are 3 doubts roaming the mind in The Enemies Within. A glum-faced one with slow movement but that deals a pack of damage. This more aggressive variation that runs fast at the player but has less health and deals less damage, and lastly this winged one that shoots glowing spears at the player. Health and ammo in The Enemies Within are not handled in the same way as in a more classic FPS. Basically the player has one important stat called will that acts as both the ammo and health. When the player shoots, his will decrease. Same thing when he gets hit by a shot or enemy. This way, the game doesn't end up being a hack and slash nonsense, but a more strategic shooter, where pulling the invisible trigger has more consequences. The only way the player can get will back is by blasting beams of belief, glowing smiley yellow buggers that zoom quickly around the map. Of course, all these rules are explained in a cool little tutorial. This is the first time there isn't a rule page with a brick of text the player must read. Instead, he is guided through the simple rule set by being prompted to make some basic actions. This game can be completed in a relatively short amount of time, roughly 1 hour for beginners. It is divided into 4 levels of increasing difficulty. In each level, the player must destroy a certain amount of doubts to pass on to the next level. In level 4, the player is faced with the ultimate challenge, a boss. Basically a floating mass of heads, spitting mockery, insults, critics and doubts. Once all heads have been reduced to nothing, the windscreen will appear and the player is welcome to retry and beat the game, dying less times. It's also here that I explicitly state the fundamental message of the game, that no matter how many people try and bring you down, how many haters and disbelievers come your way, the biggest, most violent battle is in the mind. People can try and influence you, try and make you doubt, but in the end, you have the last say. So once I had all the gameplay set up, I had to find a way to convey my story. This was partly done in the tutorial. I then made a cool silhouette main menu where the play and about buttons are floating amidst doubts and negative thoughts. I also made a little intro scene showing the player being tormented by others, having seeds of doubt planted in his mind. Finally, in Audacity, I recorded my voice yelling things such as,
"There's the tip of the iceberg, you are it.
It's too risky. You'll never be good enough.
Give up.
A script then played a random clip every so often, having the player blast at doubts, all the while having torment and dark words wash over him. I loved making this game. It was my biggest project yet. I implemented and did things that I had never done before, such as the tutorial, FPS gameplay, boss battle, and a real effort and work on the theme, story, and environment. At first I wanted to go for a very cubic art style, but after a while I felt it looked too robotic and almost dropped the project. Obviously doing so would have been a waste of an interesting idea, so I persevered and ended up with The Enemies Within. Alright, that is the end of the 8th episode of the series. I would love to hear what you think about The Enemies Within. The link to play is in the description. Okay, as usual, thanks so much for watching. I have plenty of very exciting ideas for the near future of this channel, so stay tuned. Don't forget to be the person you are, that is to say, wonderful, fantastic, kind, superb, considerate, intelligent, awesome, by hitting the like and subscribe buttons. Okay, see you soon for episode 9 of the series, where I will present to you the strange world of Towards Better, a challenging platformer made in a cubic, pixel art style. Okay, cheers!